Hello guys, welcome back, it's Mr. Vince, and today I'm going to be doing a jailbreak vehicle tier list. Now before I actually get started, I want to go ahead and shout out my username's this for actually making a tier list on the vehicles probably about 3 months ago. So I want to shout out username for actually making a tier list. So before I actually go ahead and continue on, this video was actually recorded on Monday, January 4th. And this video was actually released on the 5th of January. So it was the afternoon when I was recording the video. So that means that there may be vehicles I forgot to mention. There are currently a total of 50 vehicles in Jailbreak. 2 of them are removed from the game, so you can no longer get them. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and just get started, of course. Starting with our good old friend, the Camaro. Oh yes, the Camaro is a starter car. It spawns in various locations. It is slow, it is free. And when upgraded at level 5, it can beat some vehicles, especially the Deja and the Ray, according to a few people. So, since it spawns at several locations, there are a lot of locations the Camaro spawns at. And in Jailbreak, the Camaro has the most locations of all the vehicles in the game. So, I'm not going to say this is S tier because, people can still use the Jeep. But I'm going to say it's probably a C or an A tier because the Camaro spawns in various locations. So I'm going to go ahead and rate it at C because the Camaro does spawn at a good amount of locations. It's just not really the best nor the worst. So it's going to be a solid C. If you want a better alternative, go ahead and deal with the Jeep or the helicopter. And then we have the Police Camaro. The Police Camaro is the secondary version of the Camaro. The Police Camaro is the first vehicle in Jailbreak to be removed. It was removed in the 2017 winter update, which was 3 years ago at the moment. The Police Camaro was known for being a faster version of the Camaro. But just like the original Camaro, the Police Camaro has a better alternative, the Jeep. And just like the Camaro, it is going to be rated at C. If you want a better alternative, go ahead and deal with the helicopter. And also, it is no longer obtainable because it's been removed, and it only spawns at 2 locations. Maybe 1, I don't know. The pickup truck. What do I say? It's actually a truck variant of the Camaro. It is the second or the third vehicle that has to be purchased in order to be used. And unlike the Camaro, the pickup truck has 4 passengers, which is pretty cool. However, it spawns one location, most unique of them all. Probably not. Probably the Sloop has the most unique location, which is the gas station, number 1. 9,000 just for a piece of junk, and it is slower than the Camaro. If you're willing to, use a good vehicle, go ahead and use the Jeep. Don't even bother with this pickup truck. The Deja. Some people call it the Deja Vu because it's based on the Deja Vu. A Deja is a slow car that costs 10,000 cash. It is the second cheapest vehicle in the game. Slower than Camaro, yet even slower than the pickup truck. It only supports 3 passengers and has the most unique drift of all the vehicles in the game. Spawns in one location, just one. It spawns at one of the houses in the town. If it's going to be slower than the Camaro, it's going to be an F tier. No one likes the Deja. It sucks. No one likes it. It is the worst. Yeah, it's a piece of junk. Don't even bother the Deja. If you want something else, go spend 6,000 more to buy yourself a Model 3. Speaking of the Model 3, this is the Model 3, as you can see. It's 16,000. It beats a lot of vehicles, including the Mclaren, which is a pile of junk. The Model 3 is the first vehicle in the game that is a Tesla. But, unlike the Roadster, the Model 3 is not electric, according to the wiki. The reason it's considered as a general car is because the Model 3 is a general car. It's not a supercar, it's not a hypercar, it's not a sports car, it's an ordinary Tesla. And unlike the Roadster and the Cybertruck, the Model 3 has an interior. It is a lot better than the Jeep in terms of top speed. So it's going to be an A tier. A lot of people love the Model 3. Definitely a good choice. Use the vehicle until you get the Challenger. I'm not saying the Challenger is bad. It's just the Model 3 is really good. It's not S tier, unfortunately, because there's a better alternative. But nonetheless, go use the Model 3. The Minicooper. Everyone knows that the Minicooper is the rarest vehicle in Jailbreak. This vehicle is retired. You cannot buy it anymore. The Minicooper used to cost $25,000 before it went retired. And, as a special bonus, the Minicooper also spawned in one location, just like the Deja, which is the houses in the town. The Minicooper is a really good car. It is slightly slower than the Model 3, but again, it's a really good car. If you like a car that wants to beat the Jeep, this is probably your best bet. But the only downside of this car is that it has retired. So what's going to be? Well, it's going to be a C tier because it is slower than the Model 3. But again, everyone loves the Minicooper. It's a great hatchback. The Ray. Just like the Deja, it is slower than the Camaro. It spawns in the cargo port, which is the only vehicle that spawns in the cargo port. There's no other vehicle that spawns at the cargo port, right? Yeah. Some people complain that the Ray is slower than the Camaro. And I can agree. I used this vehicle a little more frequently back then, but I stopped using this vehicle after the M12 Molten got released, because this is a better alternative. The Ray is $25,000, just like the Minicooper, yet slower than the Minicooper. However, it is faster than the Deja Vu, and faster than the pickup truck, so I'm going to rate it at D, because, again, it's still slower than our good old friend, the Camaro. The SUV. Just like the Minicooper, it has retired. The SUV was a good car. A lot of people love the SUV because it was a good car. Now, according to the wiki, if it hit 3rd or 4th gear, it will start to bog down its speed. It may be true, but the SUV was actually a pretty good car. Just like the others, this vehicle is slower than the Model 3. It only spawns in one location, which is the prison, and it has a successor, just like the Minicooper. The SUV is a C tier, so definitely worth buying the Model 3. It's $40,000, and I don't think that many people would use it anyway. The Patrol bike. Some people call it Patrol because they thought it was a good name. The Patrol is the 3rd bike in Jailbreak. It is also the most recent of them all. The Patrol bike is known for being the 2nd fastest in the game, only beaten by the Volt bike. The Patrol is only 45,000 cash, and it beats a lot of vehicles. Possibly the Model 3, but again, this is a great bike. Unlike the dirt bike, the Patrol only has 1 passenger, and that's it. The Patrol also only spawns in 1 location. It used to have 2, but it only has 1 because police station number 2 supports the Surus, which I'll talk about it later in the video. It is rated A, just like the Model 3, because it's a great bike. It is hard to pop its tires, which is a downside for the police. But nonetheless, a lot of people love the Patrol. It's a great car. The Mustang. When I say about the Mustang is a pretty good vehicle. It was the first muscle car in Jailbreak. It spawns in only 1 location, which is the gun shop, but it has retired, which probably explains the pinstripe decals. The Mustang was slower than the Minicooper in terms of top speed, but it was still a really decent vehicle. Some people don't use this vehicle anymore because it has retired and it's slower than the Model 3. It is $50,000. It is going to be rated D because it's slower than the Minicooper. Yeah, for real. It is slower than the Minicooper. If you want a vehicle that's good, either buy the Model 3, spend up $9,000 more to just buy the Challenger, or just buy a jetpack. Okay? Thank you, and let's go on to the next one. The Classic. As we can tell by its name, the Classic is a really weird car in Jailbreak. The launch and acceleration is ridiculous, but its top speed, it's disgusting. It is the second slowest vehicle in Jailbreak in terms of top speed, only beaten by the ATV, which is even slower. It is 50,000 cash. It is a lot worse than the Mustang. It is the secondary source of museum getaways. If you want to get rid of cops trying to chase you, then go use a different vehicle. Don't use the classic. It is definitely an F tier. The Boxer. As the name suggests, it's a Porsche Boxster, as some people call it. The Boxer is 55,000, 5,000 more than the classic. It is the better version of the classic at the museum, and it spawns in only one location, just like the classic. The Boxer is the successor of the Porsche. It is slower than the Porsche, which is its predecessor, but just like the classic, it's not really that bad, but it's not that good either. Unlike the classic, the Boxer actually has a really good reverse speed. It is rated A. Like, it's a really good museum getaway vehicle. Definitely worth buying. It's a great vehicle. The Challenger. This is our first rumble chassis vehicle in the list. The Challenger is the second muscle car, and it's the successor of the Mustang. And what I tell you, it is actually faster than the Model 3. For real. This is the better version of the Mustang and the Boxer. This is definitely an A tier because this vehicle can beat out a lot of vehicles. Like, for real. It is a really good vehicle. The Porsche. As some people call it, it's known as the classic variant of the Boxer. The Porsche is 70,000. It is a little faster than the Boxer, which is its successor. The Porsche also spawns at one location, but the Boxer took it over. And just like the most other retired vehicles, this vehicle has also retired. And was also a great getaway vehicle. If it's faster than the Boxer and is a great getaway vehicle, it's going to be rated as an A tier. I like it. It's a really good car. It sits up to 2 people, and it's really good. Okay, so now we are moving on to the Supercars, and we're going to start with the BMW, or some people call it the Beam Hybrid. The Beam is a really good car. It is slightly faster than the Lamborghini and could also be slower than the Molten M12. Or M12 Molten, whatever the heck you want to call it. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be calling it Molten. So the i8, or the BMW, as most people call it, is a lot slower than the Chiron and the Bugatti. Some people say this vehicle is slower. Even Chris and the Mike made a video about this vehicle, and no one likes it. VG also made some speed tests on this vehicle, and no one liked it. If this vehicle is going to be slower than the Bugatti, it's going to be rated as C tier. Like, 500,000 value, no one likes it. It is absolutely abysmal. Yeah, it's a pile of junk. The Lamborghini. I have to say one thing. It has the most ridiculous top speed in Jailbreak. A lot of people love the Lamborghini. It's the most common vehicle in the game, closest to our good old friend Camaro. And the Lamborghini spawns in various locations ranging from the Evil Lair base to the bank. A lot of people love the Lamborghini. It is our first S tier. This vehicle is so good. It's just 100,000, yet even faster than the Ferrari. Definitely buy the Lamborghini. The Ferrari, twice the amount of the Lamborghini, yet slightly slower in terms of top speed. The Ferrari also has a really weird and awkward reverse speed. Not as good. Yet even worse than the Boxer or the Porsche. As some people call it, the Ferrari is just a literal rip-off of the Lamborghini, but some people still prefer using the Lamborghini. If this vehicle is going to be slower than the Lamborghini, it is going to be in A tier. So yeah, definitely do not buy this. But some people still prefer using the Ferrari. Its off-roading also stinks. The handling is a little better than Lamborghini's, but nonetheless, this vehicle spawns in one location, and it sucks. Yeah, it's disgusting. The R8. Some people call it Audi R8 because it's a literal Audi R8. Okay? It's an Audi type vehicle. It's a German car. The Audi R8 is the same amount as the Ferrari, except it's slightly slower. It does not compare with the Ferrari on everything except for acceleration. Yet the Audi R8 is faster in acceleration than the Ferrari, making it the third fastest in terms of acceleration of all the supercars in the game. The reverse speed is probably a little worse than the Ferraris, but nonetheless, this vehicle is pretty good, and it's going to be rated a B tier. The Mclaren. Everyone hates the Mclaren. It's a pile of junk. No one likes it. It is absolutely abysmal. This vehicle is slightly slower than the Model 3. It's 300,000. It has retired, spawns in one weird location, as some people call it. And the Mclaren also has a really good model. It is going to be rated a D tier. Like, what kind of piece of junk is slower than a Model 3? Not worth it. The only good purpose for it is the joystick glitch, which has been patched in the September update of last year. The Veron. Look at this cool car. The Veron is the good car. It's the hypercar game. The Veron is literally one of my favorite vehicles in Jailbreak. Well, when it comes to cars, this is probably my favorite of them all. Ever so better than the Torpedo. The Veron is slightly slower than the Torpedo in terms of top speed. It cannot compare with the Torpedo in everything except for reverse speed and top speed at level 1. The Veron is also retired, and it's the first hypercar to retire in Jailbreak. Not being made unattainable, but retired, in quotations. Quote, retired, unquote. So, the Veron is a good vehicle. A lot of people love the Veron. It was a really good car, but the Torpedo beats it all, and the Roadster beats it in terms of acceleration and launch. It is an S tier because it's pretty much comparable to the Lamborghini. A lot of people love it. The Chiron, or some people call it the Bugatti, because it's a 2.0 variant of the Veron, as some people call it. The Chiron is the successor of the Bugatti, or some people call it the Veron. The Chiron is literally a slower variant of the Veron in terms of top speed. But, in other words, the Chiron beats the Bugatti in every aspect except for reverse speed, top speed, and what do you call it? Braking? No. It beats the Bugatti in every aspect except for possibly off-roading, and it beats it in, top speed and reverse. The Chiron can beat the Veron in acceleration, launch, and braking. It's basically a Roadster 2.0. The Chiron is also the first vehicle to include an interior that you can drive first person with. And just like the Veron, it spawns at the jewelry store, so it's going to be rated as an S tier. It's a great vehicle, the Molten M12. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be calling it Molten. The Molten was a good vehicle. It was 599,000, slower than Chiron. It is the fourth fastest in terms of top speed. Only ever so slightly faster than the Lamborghini. The value of itself is not really that great. The off-roading, handling, and possibly brakes are just great. It is an A tier because it has retired and not very many people love the Molten. But again, I like it. It's a really good vehicle and it's the best. The Roadster. A lot of people love the Roadster. It's a really fast vehicle. It is the second electric hypercar in the game. I love the Roadster. A lot of people use the Roadster for quick getaways, right? The Roadster spawns in only one location, which is the Badimo charging station by the bank. The Roadster is the fastest vehicle in terms of acceleration. However, when it comes to top speed, it is the 8th fastest, only being by a lot of vehicles. Lamborghini, Veron, Chiron, M12 Molten, Ferrari, Urus, or Lamborghini Urus, and the Torpedo. It is an S tier because this vehicle is frequently used by the Jailbreak community. The Torpedo, as I like to call it, the fastest vehicle in terms of top speed. A lot of people call it by the king of all cars because it is the king of all cars. The Torpedo is an unattainable vehicle that a lot of people want it back, but Torpedo haters and Torpedo users don't want it back because it's unfair to its exclusive team. The Torpedo is known for being a really fast vehicle. It cannot compete with any other vehicle in the game unless if it's trying to compete with the Roadster. It can beat every vehicle from mid to long distance except for the Roadster and mid distance. However, at long distance, the Torpedo beats the Roadster. The Torpedo wants itself to be returned because many new players don't have a chance to buy a Torpedo. You seem that a lot of Jailbreak players have joined in 2020, so that's probably why many people want the Torpedo back. And their reason is because its top speed is ridiculously broken. The Roadster... Excuse me again. The Roadster can beat the Torpedo in every aspect except for top speed and off-roading. And reverse speed, because the Roadster's reverse speed is kind of trash. The Torpedo is ridiculous of top speed and handling. Not only that, but its off-roading is so good, it's comparable to the Molten. It is also an S tier. This is a great vehicle. Now we're moving on to off-roading vehicles, which are vehicles that have really good off-roading, mostly comparable to the monster truck or the Torpedo. The Jeep. It is a better alternative to the Camaro. It is free, spawns in only one location, which is the military base. It is literally the best free vehicle of all the vehicles that are free, especially the helicopter. But the helicopter is a great transportation. The Jeep is a lot faster than the Camaro and even faster than the pickup truck, Deja, Ray, and Classic. It is comparable to slightly the Model 3, but this, my friend, is an A tier. This is literally the best alternative to the Camaro. The dirt bike. Slower than petrol. 35,000. Spawns in one location. It is a D tier. The only good thing about it is that it has 2 passengers. The dune buggy. 45,000. Spawns in one location, which is the middle of the Jailbreak map. It is a weird, uncontrollable piece of junk. It is the fastest vehicle in the game, and it literally beats the Torpedo no matter what. It is an F tier because it cannot be controlled easily. It is literally impossible. An update just made it worse. ATV. Just like the dune buggy, this vehicle is literally weird. It is 50,000. Slower than the Classic in terms of top speed. Acceleration is ridiculous, but its launch is pretty decent. The ATV used to support 2 passengers, but it's no longer supported with 2 passengers as it only has 1. I don't know why, but who knows. The ATV is also spawns in one location, which is train station number 2, which is by the gas station. It is a D tier, just only better than the dune buggy. But again, prefer the Patrol or the Model 3 because those vehicles can beat the ATV. The Cybertruck, a better version of the Model 3. The Cybertruck is the 3rd Tesla in Jailbreak, and it's the most recent vehicle without an interior. This vehicle is an A tier because it's a better alternative of Model 3. But too bad I ran out of room for A tier people, so it looks like this is our final A tier vehicle of this video. Sorry, A tier people. Sorry. The Lamborghini Urus. As some people call it, it's a Cirrus. The Cirrus spawns in one location, as it used to. But now it spawns at 2 locations, the prison and police station number 2. Or some people call it the city police station. It's slightly slower than a Lamborghini, so if that's the case, it's going to be a C tier. The Raptor. A slightly better version of the Model 3, if plausible. The Raptor is slightly slower than the monster truck, and it was a 150,000. The truck itself is really good. Supports up to 6 passengers, and it's literally probably the only Ford vehicle in Jailbreak. If it's slower than the Cybertruck, it's going to be a D tier. I don't really prefer the Raptor. It is also the rarest season vehicle in Jailbreak, if I did not include the BMW. Oh, the Big Daddy Monster Truck, as we all call it, it's the biggest truck in Jailbreak. A lot of people love the truck. It is not the fastest in the game, but sure is a really fast vehicle. It is the second fastest truck in the game, only being by the Cybertruck. And just like the Surus, this monster truck is a C tier. It is 1 million. It is really good. But not very many people like it because it's the slowest 1 million vehicle in the game. Not really the slowest, but the ATV is even slower. Yet the Sloop can't even beat the monster truck. So yeah, definitely prefer the Volt Bike, Drone, Army Heli, or of course our good old friend, the Jet. The ambulance. Known for the meme, call an ambulance. The ambulance is useful because you can use the back of it to restore health. You don't even have to pay to use the back. It is 90,000 and it's the first vehicle to include actual opening doors. Well, technically it's not for passenger and the driver, but it's only for the handler. It is an A tier, but since I don't have enough room, looks like I'm gonna have to squeeze in the ambulance. The fire truck. It is a lot slower than the Cybertruck, but it is slightly faster than the Model 3 in terms of top speed. It is 175,000, yet even slower than the monster truck. It is a D tier, as white say. The only good purpose for it is to kill off fire, but since rain kills it, it's not really that useful nowadays. The Delorean. This is an interesting vehicle. The Delorean is a vehicle that is for some reason part of the off-roading game. Or I would say the trucks. It is the only sports car that's part of this, so it doesn't really matter. The Delorean is a slightly slower version of the Model 3. It is 175,000, a better version of the pickup truck and the fire truck, because the pickup truck is literally just a piece of garbage. It is a C tier because this vehicle is not really that difficult to use, but it's not that fast either. Go ahead and just prefer using the Lamborghini. The Arachnid. It is a really good Batmobile vehicle in Jailbreak. It is 750,000. Well, how much money are you even spending on this piece of garbage? If you want a better alternative, go ahead and spend about 250,000 more on the Volt Bike, Drone, Army Heli, or even the Jet. It is a C tier, just like the DeLorean. It's comparable to it, but it's not really that ridiculous. It's also a season vehicle that you cannot obtain. Volt Bike. A lot of people love the Volt Bike. The good use for it is that it can literally flip over obstacles. Very good. It is the only vehicle in Jailbreak that actually has a really good chassis. A lot of people love the Volt Bike, but many people were criticizing SEMO about it because the Volt Bike was going to get removed. This vehicle is definitely an S tier, my boy. The S tier for the Volt Bike, it is actually a god. The SWAT van. It is a slower version of the Minicooper and the Model 3. It is 350 Bobucks. It is faster than the Camaro. Not really that bad. It's definitely a D tier. The only good use for it is the turret, but not very many people like it. The RAF. Or I would say the Rolls-Royce RAF because it's a better version of the SWAT van for a less price. And just like the SWAT van, it has a turret, but it only has 3 passengers. This one is a C tier. It's slightly faster than the SWAT van. The helicopter. Great transportation. It is also a really good free vehicle. This one is a C tier because you can use the Jeep. The Little Bird. 190,000 cash. It is a lot faster than the helicopter. Spawns at top of the bank. It's a great transportation vehicle. This one is an A tier because the only good use for it is the cargo ship. The stunt plane. 200,000 for a pile of junk. It is the second slowest vehicle in the game overall. Only a bit faster than the Sloop. It is the slowest aerial vehicle in the game. It is definitely an F tier. don't even bother with the stem. The UFO. It is a slower version of the little bird, 500,000. It spawns in one weird location. This one's a D tier. I mean, it's a really good vehicle, but no one would even use this anyway. The jet. I like the jet. It shoots missiles, but if you're on mobile, you cannot. The jet is really fast. Can't even beat the Torpedo because it can maneuver all kinds of obstacles. This one is a C tier because you can still use a other alternative, for, obstacles. The Army Heli. Just like the jet, it costs 1 million cash. It spawns in only one location, which is the 1 million dealership. A better version of the Little Bird. If it's better than the Little Bird, it is definitely an S tier, baby. The Blade. It is the best aerial vehicle in the game when it comes to maneuvering obstacles. This is literally the best vehicle of them all. A lot of people love the Blade, but this vehicle was removed approximately 3 months ago because this vehicle has copyright issues. Rest in peace, Blade. You are definitely in the hearts. You are an S tier. The drone. This drone is slightly slower than the Blade. It's a better alternative, but it is the replacement of the Blade. It was added because the Blade was removed from the game. It is an S tier because this is a better variant. Spaceship. This one's definitely an F tier because it's only given to one person. Jet ski. I'm not saying it's bad. You can do the land glitch with it, but overall it's not really that good. Its flipping sucks, and I don't think it's really good. Appreciative that the cost is pretty good, but this one's going to be a C tier, since the fact you could just use 25,000 just to spend on a Model 3. The Cruiser. The slower version of the jet ski. And unlike the jet ski, the Cruiser can drive on land without any glitches. This one is a D tier because it's slower than the jet ski. Last but not least, the sloop. As people call it, the sailboat. There's one purpose for it. Role-playing. And you know what this goes up to? It's an F tier. This is the slowest vehicle in terms of top speed. It is 1 million cash. It's a literal piece of junk. If you want to spend 1 million cash on something, go buy a Volt bike, helicopter, or even a drone. Don't spend money on this vehicle unless if you don't have anything else to spend on. And I'll go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this tier list, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And also, if you hit the subscribe button, I'm going to throw away the sloop. It's a little piece of junk. Did you hit the subscribe button? Get it? Okay, good. We're going to get rid of this vehicle. Alright, yank. Get out of here. You are terrible. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The sloop is definitely a minus tier because it's the worst vehicle in the game. And as always, my name is Mr. Vince. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.